The reason why I decided to write about espionage was because that's what, as a reader, entertained me. I had read before that Tom Clancy was selling insurance. He had never served in the military. He had never worked for the FBI or law enforcement. And I kind of thought, if this guy can do it, I was just naive enough to think, why can't I? And so I really started to research the arena of special forces and military and law enforcement and espionage, and just built up a base of knowledge so I could converse with those people when I did my research. And I think that when you look at theater as a stage of life, there are very few things more compelling than international intrigue and espionage and countries battling it out for ideas or religion or what have you. And so, for instance, when I got into this, I graduated from college in '88. The next year, the Iron Curtain comes crashing down, and communism is no longer the threat that it once was. So when I started to write back in '92, what I saw on the horizon as the main threat against the West was this rise of Islamic radical fundamentalism and terrorism. And I thought that's where we were going to go as a world. And I think the closer you can get your fiction to mimic real-life events, the more your readers are willing to come along and believe what's going on in your novels, which I think makes a big difference in the end. The details in my novels in terms of the Pentagon and the FBI and the CIA and the Secret Service and a lot of organizations, it was difficult at first. My self-published first book, Term Limits, that was the most difficult one to sit down and talk to people and get them to turn over information. Back then, I spoke to mostly retired individuals. Now, I get invited into the CIA. I get invited to the Pentagon. I get invited to sit down and have lunch with these people. In my last book, Memorial Day, the book was put under security review by the Department of Energy. It was also mentioned in several FBI memos and Secret Service memos that discuss the plausibility of such an attack taking place. Beyond that, there's been a few other things that I've touched base on, some methodology used by the CIA. I was writing about torture before the Abu Ghraib prison scandal broke, and that has caused a bit of a stir. But the one thing that's nice about my job is I'm a private citizen, and I can say and do a lot of things that these people who work for the government cannot say and do. So there's really not much they can do to me, even if I print something that would be classified. Having said that, though, there are certain things that I have either pulled out of my books or not put into them because I know that they would be getting too close to a very sensitive operation that we may be doing at that time. I'm not embarrassed to say I'm an American first, so I'm not going to do certain things that are going to jeopardize, let's say, a clandestine operation that the CIA is running abroad. I would never do that. So more likely the case is that I don't put things in the book because I'm asked not to. In terms of wrapping both the hunter and the hunted in Consent to Kill, I think that it's a natural progression in this type of novel, meaning, the espionage novel. I think that your readers want to see them put in that situation and how they react. There's been 6 Mitch Rapp novels written. Realistically, I'm probably going to write another, 5 to 10 at least. And so to keep your reader interested, you have to run your character through certain scenarios. And if they're always the one on the offensive doing the hunting, I think that's going to become boring to your reader. So you kind of have to turn the tables on them to make things exciting.